Happy Monday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation. We are coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned on this, Zach, I mentioned it, Misfit, last hour, Maha Monday. I love it. I love that whole idea of, like, theming the days. I'll tell you, it is Maha Monday. I've been in a Maha routine since the beginning of September. Stuck to it over the last 6 months. Added a treadmill in December. Deep in ketosis now, to the point where I have reached, speaking of Maha Monday, I said I was going to jump in on the trend, so I'm going to jump on the trend just a little bit in the beginning. I have reached a stage in the game, and I've only reached this area once before, where if you do the keto diet and you test your ketone levels and all that, eventually, there's a couple of ways. You could test it on your breath, which is cool. You could test it in your urine, and you could test it in your blood. I'm not doing finger sticks, so we're not doing blood. I don't have a breathalyzer, so I use the pee sticks. And eventually, after you get into a steady habit and your body becomes incredibly keto adapted, right? Your body becomes like so naturally adapted to running on ketones, you start to see the ketone levels in the urine decrease. And we're at the point now where they are decreasing at a rapid level. Even I haven't changed my diet. So that is a sign of high-level keto adaptation from the body. So that is fun to know, because what it means at that point is that less ketones are being, flushed away, and your body is now more efficiently using them. So I am excited to have reached that stage. I've only reached that stage. Last time I did that, when I went on a long keto run, was back in like the 2020 time period. So I'm very happy to see that this morning. I was like, look at this. This is great. Most people would panic, like, oh my gosh, what'd I do? I'm getting kicked out of keto. I was like, no, your body's just super fat adapted where it's wasting less. So you're detecting less when they come out. It's awesome. Diet's not for everybody. Fine. I know there are people, I've said on the internet, I drink bulletproof coffee. You take the coffee, put a little butter, a little coconut oil, spin it up in the magic bullet. Someone's like, the hell is wrong with you? I was like, nothing. Why must there be Karens all over the place? That diet's not healthy, All right, well, that's fine. Blocked. I will block you if you Karen over my food. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I've blocked a bunch of food Karens who were like, eating all that fat's going to give you a heart attack. I'm like, okay, sure. Thanks, Doc. Blocked. Anyway, so we do we do keto here, and I do it anyway, and it is one of those diets that has worked incredibly well for me. It's not for everybody. Everybody's body's different. But we've reached a stage now where I've reached a stage now where we're clearly keto adapted, which is great. I love it. I love the way it makes me feel. And headache frequency is down. I got a bad one yesterday, but it was only one over the course of 7 days, which is like a good rate for me. So we're in good shape. All right. As we continue on now, this morning, we're going to talk about the fact that the Democrats have left us. The Democrats have left us wide open to terror. Whether it was the 4 years of the Biden regime with the wide open border, right? Which allowed them in, and now it's Department of Homeland Security not getting funding, and you're starting to see the negative effects happen at the airports. I think there were some folks who were interviewed at Atlanta, the airport in Atlanta, said that their TSA lines were longer than they can ever remember. A lot of TSA agents who aren't getting paid right now are either finding other jobs or calling in sick and all that. It's not good, okay? You've got Homeland Security, which, as we know, in about 22 days, will have an interim DHS secretary. It'll be Mark Wayne Mullen. He'll get confirmed by the Senate. He'll be the new DHS secretary. Kristi Noem removed from the position last week. Can't say fired because there'll be people coming. She wasn't fired. She's the special envoy to the Shield of America. Oh, yeah? What is that? I don't know. All right, so they made up a job for her to make it look like she wasn't fired? Yeah, okay. Cool. No, nothing personal against Noam. It was just the semantics people in the comments after that happened. They were like, she wasn't fired, right? Stop spreading fake news. And I was like, all right, whatever. Oh, gosh. But the Department of Homeland Security, obviously their main initiative is to, wait for it, secure the homeland. Wow. How'd you know that? Oh, I don't know. It's just kind of in the name. The Democrats have left it and have held back funding from the Department of Homeland Security, which leaves us incredibly vulnerable. It leaves us incredibly vulnerable to potential terror attacks like we saw. And I'm not saying that if DHS had funding, they stop all the attacks. That's not what I'm saying at all, but it would go a long way in at least, all of your resources are being devoted and are being fully funded to stopping these attacks. So what happened in New York City over the weekend, right? Apparently, Islamic terrorists tried to bomb the anti-Mamdani protest in New York City, or the anti-Islam protests in New York City, with a nail bomb, like an improvised device, and it didn't go off. Now, again, I don't think it's any convenience. But I don't think it's any coincidence. That's the word I'm looking for. That once again, Jake Lang was involved. And I'm gonna send a warning to anybody who's listening. If you believe Jake Lang is a good actor and is your friend, you are sadly mistaken. Okay? Now, that's not to say that he's wrong about radical Islam. He's right about radical Islam. If Jake Lang came over tomorrow and said, hey, Sean Farish, water is wet. My name's Jake Lang and I approve this message, I would say, I don't agree with you on 99% of anything else, but you're right, water is wet. Okay? The fact of the matter is, and again, I don't want to see him get hurt, even though he has been hurt. The fact of the matter is, this guy is an agitator. I want you to understand something about Jake Lang. I don't care about his position on radical Islam. He is correct on radical Islam. It is a stain on this country. It is not compatible with Western culture, with American culture. He is right about radical Islam. But just because he is right about radical Islam does not mean he is a hero. I have had it with people. It's internet culture. It's like, oh man, this person's going viral. Hero, They did this in 2022 and 2023, where like people started making Joe Rogan out to be this bastion of conservatism. Nothing against Joe Rogan. I don't listen to his show. It's long, whatever. Yes, he was helpful in the 2024 election with Donald Trump and all of this. I'm not saying, but can we please stop with everyone is the greatest of all time and this is the best of all time and this guy's amazing and this is it. My point here is, please do not fall for this guy's grift. Jake Lang is an agitator. He is not your friend. Yes, he may be on your side about radical Islam. This guy showed up to January 6th with the intention of hurting police officers. That is not us. Do you understand me? But Sean, he's out at these counter protesters and at these protests, and you're not out there. Yeah, you're right, because I'm not stupid and I'm not trying to get myself hurt. Okay? There's a time and a place. Now, if you want to go and constitutionally peacefully protest on the streets of New York City and exercise your constitutional rights to do so, you're putting yourself at risk. You know nobody's going to protect you out there. If you want to be in accordance with the law and exercise your First Amendment rights, by all means, exercise them. But the problem is, after Jake Lang exercises his First Amendment rights, he usually starts a fight. Something happens. He posts about it. And at the end of the post, what does it say? Donate to me. Do you understand that this guy has brought in millions of dollars doing this over and over and over and over and over again? And the reason why he keeps doing it is because people keep sending him money. Why is OnlyFans such a lucrative career for people? Because you have degenerates and people who can't get over their fetishes going online, sending these girls money. Jake Lang is a rage bait OnlyFans girl. That is what he is, okay? And he keeps saying, please donate to me and help. This dude has brought in millions of dollars. He is not our friend. Please understand this, okay? Stop promoting this guy. He is not your friend. He's not.
This is when it's good to have discernment. Because there's people that pretend to be your friend and they're not.
Not.
And you have to be able to see through them.
This guy only wants your money. Doesn't want your support.
He doesn't
want
really
anything
care
else.
about you. He just wants relevance.
He wants relevance and he wants money. And this is what he has been about. I mean, this is the same guy who went by Yeshua and he created a cult in the D.C. jail. This is not made up from people who knew him. Always being held against his will. False. He was delaying his own proceedings. Read the freaking court filings. All right. The point of the matter here is, and it's not going to be the show about Jake Lang, what happened in New York City over the weekend, Jake Lang happened to be involved, irrelevant, shows you that there is a real threat in this country that the Democrats either don't care about or are low-key happy about. The thing is, if that nail bomb had gone off and people had gotten hurt, I don't know, guys. I don't know where we'd be this morning, what we'd be talking about this. We'd be talking about that this morning, but I'd be in a much worse mood. Okay, so we will get into that. We will get into this. Something happened at the Kansas City airport. Something happened on a Southwest Airlines flight. It turns out there was absolutely, there was no actual threat. There were threats, but there were no credible, as the word. There were no credible threats. So we will get into that. SAVE Act. There's a big push for the SAVE Act. Over the weekend, on Friday evening, Brennan and I attended a fundraiser for a local mayoral candidate here in Rutherford County, Joe Carr. He is the incumbent mayor. Marsha Blackburn was also at that event. I got a chance to speak with her very briefly. And the one thing I said to her is we're really, really hoping for the SAVE Act to be passed. And obviously, Senator Marsha Blackburn, she's running for governor here in the state of Tennessee, but she is currently a United States Senator. This is not what she said to me. This is what I picked up from her speaking. All right. She said that they're trying to get that SAVE Act passed. Okay. Obviously, she's a co-sponsor of it and is in favor of doing anything that is possible to get it passed. She sounded frustrated that it was taking this long, but not defeated. Okay, so there is a chance to get the SAVE Act passed. There's still a big push happening to get the SAVE Act passed. John Cornyn has come out in favor of using the talking filibuster now. All of a sudden, right? Interesting. And Donald Trump says that he is not going to sign anything else until the SAVE Act is passed. I just hope he makes an exception if DHS funding comes through first. I hope he makes an exception that he'll, and I think he will. Okay, that he will obviously sign on and have DHS funded, especially amid this big-time terror threat. So we've got a lot to get to this morning here on LFA TV. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. It is OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. They have done it again. They are preparing to unveil their most exquisite box yet in honor of America's 250th birthday. You can pre-order the America 250 box right now at OFPFarms.com. Secure this stunning limited edition box at a 20% off discount by using the code America250. That is America250 at OFPFarms.com. This beautiful box features their finest packaging, premium products alongside custom designed elements, ensuring you will not find a more stunning box anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. Simply go to OFPFarms.com and use the promo code America250 or scan the QR code on the bottom right-hand portion of your screen right now. OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com, promo code America250 for 20% off the pre-order of the America 250 box, or you can use code Shawn, SHAWN, for 10% off of everything else on the website. If you got to restock on your Goat Kisses lip balm, your beard oils, your soaps, your tallow balms, your sprays and magnesium products, OFPFarms.com. OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com, promo code SHAWN for 10% off, or, as we said, promo code America250 for 20% off the America 250 box.
And it was Denise and Corey's anniversary, I think, over the weekend.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And pictures came out, and there was a beardless Corey, and I didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know who that was.
We didn't know who it was.
Denise, who was that man?
Denise, who's that guy? She's like, that's Corey. Like, that's not Corey. There's no beard. No, it's Corey without a beard.
So happy anniversary to them.
Corey doesn't have no beard. Yes, he had no beard at one point in time.
He came out of the womb with a beard.
Okay. This beard is like... It's just big. It's nice. There it is. Happy anniversary to Denise and Corey, OFP Farms, the owners of OFP Farms. All right, next up, a word from our friends at Armor Colostrum, tryarmor.com/LFA TV. We said it's, as Misfit said, it's Maha Monday. Colostrum's a great supplement you could add into your supplement repertoire. I have had a very good experience with colostrum, that much I can say, and I could say so confidently. Between colostrum and broccoli on a daily basis, or a somewhat daily basis for the broccoli, a daily basis for colostrum, gut health is absolutely improved. And that is one of those things. You have a healthy gut, yeah, the rest of your body's going to feel good too. That's what colostrum can do for you. It's the primary benefit of colostrum. You know, I'm always going to look out for these new life hacks, ways to enhance my metabolism, improve my fitness and recovery, strengthen my immunity. That is what Armor Colostrum can do for you. It's the first nutrition we receive in life, contains all the essential nutrients that our bodies need in order to thrive. You can reactivate your hair growth and help your skin glow. Can also help fortify your gut health, ignite your metabolism. Gut health is a big one for colostrum. Can fuel your fitness, performance, and recovery. Check it out at tryarmor.com/LFATV, TRYARMRA.com/LFATV for up to 30% off of your first purchase or your first order at Armor Colostrum. Tryarmor.com/LFATV, TRYARMRA.com/LFATV, TRY Armra, ARMRA.com/LFATV. All right, let's get into this, this terror situation in New York City, okay? And the first thing I want to show you, and this is, you know, I'm just going to show you, Mamdani made a statement about it, and the first thing he referenced was white supremacist Jake Lang, you know. And I'm not going to tell you that's why you should avoid him, because Mamdani's using him as, you know, a prop. But I want to be clear, all right? Whether Jake Lang is a white supremacist, I don't know if Jake Lang's a white supremacist. I don't know if he believes in anything, honestly, except, you know, the power of the almighty dollar and the grift that he's running. I don't know if he's a white supremacist. I have no idea. I don't really care. That doesn't matter. So this statement from Mamdani yesterday, white supremacist Jake Lang organized a protest outside Gracie Mansion rooted in bigotry and racism. Such hate has no place in New York City. It is an affront to our city's values and the unity that defines who we are. You see how he's kind of framing it already? Like, oh, it was kind of Jake Lang's fault that a terrorist tried to nail bomb the protest. Well, no, it's not really Jake Lang's fault. Although, is he an antagonist? Is he an agitator? Yes. Nobody deserves to have their protest attacked by a terrorist planting an IED or throwing a nail bomb into it, okay? That's not okay. But Mamdani is framing it, well, you know, he is a white supremacist, so, you know, could you blame him? What followed was even more disturbing. Violence at a protest is never acceptable. The attempt to use an explosive device and hurt others is not only criminal, it is reprehensible and the antithesis of who we are. I want to thank the brave men and women of the NYPD who acted quickly to keep New Yorkers safe. Our officers ran toward danger without hesitation, demonstrating once again the courage and dedication it takes to protect this city every single day. My administration is closely monitoring the situation and I remain in close contact with our police commissioner. Okay. So, you know, I mean, would I prefer it if it wasn't Jake Lang who, you know, was threatened like this? Yes, because now he's going to go on a whole little media thing and, oh, my life was threatened. And he's not wrong to say that his life was threatened because that did happen. So I'm not trying to say that, you know, what happened to him, or I'm not trying to minimize this in any way. This was a terror attack that, by the grace of God, the bomb did not detonate. That's just it. It didn't go off. The suspect, and they got multiple suspects here in this case, has referenced ISIS in an interview with law enforcement after the IED thrown during counter-protest near Mamdani's home failed to explode. The NYPD said the investigation is being conducted with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York through the JTTF as a Joint Terrorism Task Force. The suspect referenced ISIS as FBI investigates the incident as a possible terrorist attack. It's not possible. We know that it is a terror attack. Additional details surfaced yesterday from law enforcement sources who spoke with NBC News reporter Tom Winter. According to the sources, the incident is being evaluated as an act of terror. New York City Police Department said Sunday that a device thrown during a protest outside Gracie Mansion the day before was an improvised explosive device capable of causing serious injury or death. The NYPD bomb squad has conducted a preliminary analysis of a device that was ignited and deployed at a protest yesterday and has determined that it is not a hoax device or a smoke bomb. It is, in fact, an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury or death. Now, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice that, or if, Department of Homeland Security was funded? It would. Okay? Now, here is what folks, please do not get confused here. I am not arguing for a surveillance state. Okay? People are like, oh, well, if DHS was funded, what would they have done? Could they have caught this guy? Could they have had their eyes on this guy? Is there a net that DHS can cast? And, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, the surveillance doesn't matter. I am not arguing in favor of a surveillance state. Okay? That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Obviously, we live in the day and age of, we have a sponsor, Silent, right? So we'll talk about them a little bit later. But, the whole idea here is privacy. Silent is a great way to protect your privacy. And it also keeps that radiation away from you, too. All that stuff coming off these phones. Mm-hmm. But I don't want anybody to think, oh, here we go. You're arguing in favor of mass surveillance. No, I'm not. Not at all. I'm not arguing in favor of mass surveillance at all. I'm arguing in favor of the already established departments of our executive branch, like Homeland Security, which is designed to keep the homeland safe, which this president has done over the course of, the first year plus of his second term. I just want them to have their funding, okay? Do I love TSA? Do I think TSA is not gonna say constitutional. Some people think it's unconstitutional. It might be. Do I, but does it serve a purpose? It does. Do I feel more comfortable going on airplanes knowing that everyone's bag is being checked? I do. And so you trade off a little bit of your privacy for a sense of security. And I know there's Rand Paul said it in one of the debates, you can't trade in your liberty for a false sense of security. I get it. This is a big time debate among many who are, libertarian, classical libertarians, Ron Paul libertarians. There's the old quote that says, if you trade in liberty for security, you deserve neither, or one of those things. I get it. There's a debate to be had here. Okay. The fact of the matter is the Department of Homeland Security right now is not receiving funding. There are people who are not being paid, whose job it is to keep us safe, to quote unquote, secure the homeland. Our country is vulnerable right now because of the Democrats. Because of the Democrats. Okay? So the argument about TSA is, and the reason why I could say it's not unconstitutional is because you elect to go through TSA. No, I don't. It's mandatory at the airport. Yeah, who's forcing you on the airplane? Who's forcing you on the airplane? You know when you buy that plane ticket what you have to go through. If you don't want them to do it, then you don't fly. That's all I'm saying. right? And that's it. Nobody is saying, okay, you have to go through TSA today when you go to the supermarket, right? When you buy your plane ticket, you're agreeing to terms and conditions. If you don't agree with those terms and conditions, don't buy the ticket. Don't go to the airport. That's it. Now, you want to abolish TSA? You could go ahead and start a movement. Fine. No problem. But, if you don't want to go through TSA and you don't want your things searched and you don't want to feel like your privacy is being infringed upon, then don't buy a plane ticket. That's part of the terms and conditions, unfortunately. Okay? But anyway, the New York terror suspect that was arrested, and they've gotten multiple suspects here, two individuals identified as Emir Balat and Ibrahim Qayyumi were arrested during the incident and remain in custody. The NYPD said the investigation is being conducted within the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York through the Joint Terrorism Task Force. According to police, two separate protests gathered near East End Avenue and 87th Street around 11 a.m. One demonstration involved roughly 20 participants protesting what they described as an Islamic takeover of New York City. A counter-protest organized by the group Stand Against Hate drew about 125 participants. Police said an altercation earlier in the protest led to one arrest after a counter-protester was pepper sprayed. Around 12:35 p.m., authorities say Balat lit and threw a device towards the protest area. Witnesses reported flames and smoke as it traveled through the air before striking a barrier near officers. Police said Balat later retrieved a second device from Qayyumi before dropping it and being arrested. Officers ran toward danger without hesitation, and these guys apparently referenced ISIS and were in line with the ideals of the Islamic State. Okay, so why is the Department of Homeland Security still unfunded? We need to get funding for DHS, right? There it is. We need to get funding for DHS. Jersey Jane 3 says initially they tried to blame conservatives. I knew immediately that was a lie. Yes. They were going to say, well, this must have been one of those white supremacists planting a bomb. And I'm sure, the Candaces of the world say that the Jews did it and it was a false flag. Because apparently the Muslims have never done any... Radical Islam has never done anything wrong, if you ask Candace, if you ask Tucker. This is another funny thing. And this is why, these people who you're seeing on the internet do the whole it's the Jews, this thing. This is how you know that the people who are doing this are idiots and have no actual firm ground to stand on when it comes to their argument. Do you ever notice that if you're like, who did October 7th? And they're like, Hamas. And it's okay, well, is Hamas the Jews? You're like, well, Israel created Hamas. Okay, so if the answer to every time it's not the Jews is the Jews created it so that you'd feel sympathy for the Jews, then you're never wrong, right? Watch this too. Watch the same people who, bellowed on and on and on and on and on from October 7th until the ceasefire that Trump secured back over the summer, who said that there was a genocide in Gaza. Just remember that word, genocide. Watch those same people. Give it a few more weeks. And Iran is going to start putting out some propaganda about atrocities being committed by the United States and Israel in Iran. You'll see. They're going to start. They're already starting to do this. But they're going to push more of it out. And those same useful idiots like Owen Schroyer, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, who's already said that the United States wants to nuke Iran and then rape the women and children. I can't stand this guy. Shame on anybody who yelled at me, Tucker Carlson's on our side. Really?
Isn't that what they want to do?
Yes, that's what they want to do.
Wow.
This guy.
Imagine being so confused.
Anyway, watch these people. The Schroyers of the world, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, and so on and so forth. You're woke right, okay? Watch these people accuse the United States of committing a genocide soon. You'll see. Oh, the United States is aiding and abetting Israel's genocide of Iran. Wait. Is everything that you don't like a genocide now? This is like, it's like everything is racist, people. Everything's a genocide. It's freaking war, okay? There's no genocide. We don't even have boots on the ground there. But you're going to see it. I think you're going to see that very soon. All right. A couple of other threats that I want to touch on. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. It's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
I'm sure by now you've heard that silver went up 160% last year, 2025. I bought this silver for $22 an ounce. It's now worth almost $100. And we and experts think that silver is going to get up to about $200 an ounce. Palladium and platinum were stuck at $900 an ounce for like over a year, or in that area. Now they're up over $2,000. Gold is approaching $5,000 an ounce. If you have ever thought about putting some or all of your retirement or nest egg or savings or just buying bullion in precious metals, now's the time to do it. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Go leave your name, your email, and your phone number. Schedule a time to talk to the folks over at Golden Crest Metals. Get your free gold guide today, and make sure you tune in on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Crest Report, where we dive deep into precious metals, why they're doing what they're doing, and where we expect them to go. It is like insider trading. Nancy Pelosi knows about that. We don't. It's just inside information. It's not even really that. It's called knowledge. Get yours today and get a part of gold, silver, palladium, and platinum and diversify your portfolio today. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
All right, it's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Yesterday, my favorite airport in the country, the Kansas City airport, was evacuated over a bomb threat. Authorities got in there and determined that there was no credible threat, but, still scary. When we were flying home from New York, there was a bomb threat, right? Wasn't there? Or was a fire or something? Or was a bomb threat?
There was a mysterious package that got passed when poor Paul, my father-in-law, just kept driving us around.
We were going around and around and around and around and around, and all of a sudden we got in. But yeah, it was like a suspicious...
a suspicious package.
It was suspicious and mysterious. A suspicious package made its way to a spot that it wasn't supposed to be in, so they evacuated the airport, or the terminal anyway. But they reopened it quickly. Same thing seems to have happened yesterday with Kansas City's airport, except there was no mysterious package. There was a threat. I don't know if it was called in or somebody at the airport made a threat. I'm not sure. But there was no credible threat involved, which is good. We don't, but
They've been having to clear out a lot of the airports lately because the bomb threats and the Aloha snack bar.
Well, and now too. Now this
screaming.
is the new thing. Mm-hmm. It's like when there's when my class in high school, my graduating class, we were known as it's the bomb, because there were bomb threats the second half of that year. It was like there was like 3 weeks where it was just nothing but bomb threats. Once the first one came in, because the thing is, you got to evacuate the school, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a great way to get out of our tests. We'll just do a bomb threat." So there was a bunch of bomb threats, that were issued in our high school at that point. But here's another one. Southwest Airlines, as a flight heading to Nashville, had to divert to Atlanta because of a bomb threat. And again, no credible threat was found, which is good. Again, this is a good thing. I don't want there to actually be bombs on airplanes. We don't want that. Southwest Airlines flight was diverted Friday night following a mid-air security threat that led to passengers being removed from the aircraft. No credible threat was found after the investigation, according to the FBI. Southwest Airlines Flight 2094, which was traveling from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale, was forced to land in Atlanta on Friday After the incident, the plane was diverted from its original route and landed at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport around 9:06 p.m. over what Southwest Airlines called a, quote, possible security matter. The airlines also said that Atlanta Police Department removed a specific passenger from the aircraft after it landed. They pulled a male suspect from the flight. After the passenger was interviewed, agents with the FBI determined that there was no credible threat on the aircraft and no charges will be filed. Now, I'd like to know what happened here.
I know, me too. Why did they think that there was a threat if there was no threat?
Right, and why? Because the first story that circulated around on the internet was that some Islamic guy was threatening to blow up the plane midair. Okay, well, if that's the case, why were no charges filed? Because that's absolutely a
it's illegal to say there's a bomb if there's no bomb.
Yes, you can't do that. So then that must not have been the case, because the FBI would have charged him, or somebody would have charged him. Or there would be charges being filed. They wouldn't say no charges are being filed, right? So again, lies travel faster than the truth. Obviously, there was an incident, but we don't know what was behind the incident.
Mm-hmm. And there's videos of him getting pulled off. Like, I've seen the video.
Well, they said that a male passenger was pulled off the plane.
There's videos of it. I saw that. So,
but did he actually make the threat? I want to know how this whole thing...
Or did somebody else say that he said there was?
Right. Did somebody say that he said he wanted to blow up the plane? Right? I don't know. So, it's unfortunate. It said video recorded by a passenger and posted on social media showed armed officers in tactical gear boarding the aircraft with weapons drawn and ordering passengers to keep their heads down. The video posted on TikTok captioned the incident bomb threat. The officers were also seen instructing passengers to raise their hands in the air as they carried out their response. Who knows what happened there?
Imagine things can't get much worse. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm on a plane. There's a bomb threat. And then you have to land in Atlanta.
Yes.
It just got worse.
You have to land in that hellhole. There is a video of him saying the plane was going to blow up.
He said that.
Okay, Winky said he was texting someone and the person next to him saw 911 on the text and the guy was weird about his bag. So there's two conflicting stories.
Somebody probably was like, hey, there's something suspicious happening with this guy next to me.
Right, and started a whole thing.
Emergency land.
And that's the whole if you see something, say something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't get upset with somebody for being concerned about their safety. So, all right. That's it. On that, but the point of the matter here is DHS being unfunded, and again, that doesn't stop what happened on the Southwest Airlines flight from happening. Okay, DHS is unfunded. The country is vulnerable. You have now Hakeem Jeffries saying the DHS will remain without funding until they commit to removing ICE from polling places. All right. One more time for the slow on intake liberals. We call them soils, right? Okay. So on one hand, listen. On one hand, the left likes to tell us illegals do not vote in elections, right? Illegal aliens don't vote in elections. That's not happening. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Okay. On the other hand, they're telling us we need ICE to get away from polling places. Now, what does ICE do? Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They enforce immigration law. If you are not violating immigration law, ICE poses no threat to you because you're not violating immigration law. However, if you are violating immigration law, ICE does pose a threat to you. The threat being accountability for violating immigration law. So, if illegal aliens aren't voting in elections, as the left likes to tell us, that's not happening, it's a conspiracy theory. Okay, then you shouldn't care that Immigration and Customs Enforcement would be present at a polling place if the people who ICE is looking for don't go to polling places anyway, because you're telling me that illegals don't vote in elections. Unless what you're trying to say is, hey, illegals do vote in elections, and we don't want them to get caught. And if ICE is at the polling places, they might get caught, and it might blow up our whole scheme that these illegal aliens are going into these polling places and casting votes for Democrats. I'm just saying. That's what it sounds like you're saying. If you're a Democrat, if you want, why else would you want ICE removed from polling places? Why else would you want to ban ICE from enforcing immigration law at a polling place if people who violate immigration law don't go to polling places in the first place? The answer is it wouldn't matter. The reason why it matters is because illegals are voting in elections. And they're essentially admitting it by saying, we want ICE to stop showing up to polling places. They would say, oh, it's voter intimidation. It's not voter intimidation. If you are in this country illegally, you're not a voter. You shouldn't be voting. It's criminal intimidation. If you're committing a crime, don't show up to a polling place. The crime being, being in the country illegally or entering the country illegally or trying to cast a vote when you're not registered to vote because you're an illegal alien. Yeah, then you shouldn't be at a polling place to begin with. But they tell us it's not happening. Illegals are not voting in elections. They tell us that. That's a conspiracy theory. Interesting. Headline: illegal immigrant charged with voting in 5 presidential elections in Pennsylvania. Well, it's only one. It's only one guy. So I see where we're at now. It's not happening. It's happening a little bit. What comes next after it's happening a little bit? You guys know the steps. Step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is it's not happening. It's a conspiracy theory. Step 2 is, okay, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's happening, but it's not happening enough to matter. What's the next step after that? It's not happening. It's happening a little. What next? What's the next step to our A+ star pupils in the chat? What's the next step after it's not happening? It's happening a little. What's the next step? Do you remember the next step, Brennan? After it goes, it's not happening. It's happening a little.
It is happening. It's happening, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be for it, or you're a homophobe or whatever.
Yeah, right. So the way it works is it's not happening. That's a conspiracy theory. It's happening a little bit. Then it's happening a lot, actually. And if you don't like that it's happening a lot, you're a racist or a homophobe or all this. And it's good that it's happening. Right. HR Shaw's got it. Yes.
And if you don't think it's good.
And if you don't think it's good, you're like the worst person ever in the history of the world.
You're Jewish then.
Right. You're part of another Mossad psyop and responsible for babies being eaten, which is now my new favorite thing. So as if what happened with Epstein wasn't bad enough. People are like, well, they were putting babies in boxes of snakes on the island and then sucking their blood out. And I was like, okay, that's really, really serious. Surely you must have proof of that, right? No. And I'm not saying it didn't happen or that these people aren't depraved enough to do something like that. But give me the evidence for once. And it's like I'm dealing with Q again. Show me the evidence. Oh, well, there's this anonymous guy on 4chan. He posted. That's Q. That therefore Q exists. You guys got to give me something. If you come in there into my comments and go, you're covering up for babies being eaten. Okay, that's pretty serious. Where's the evidence? In the Epstein files. Oh, okay, you read it? So you should be able to post at least one page of evidence, conclusive evidence, that babies were being eaten. Do you understand how crazy that... And I say crazy because it's an extraordinary claim. Do you understand how extraordinary that claim is? That you're saying a baby was being eaten? Now, again, I'm not putting it past these people to have eaten a baby. But you've got to give me some evidence if you're going to say that. Well, they referenced pizza in the Epstein files. Well, holy crap, I texted a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago that we're going to get pizza. Does that mean I eat babies too?
Well, they do. I don't want to sound like I'm Q, but there are videos that they have to take away. There was a little girl that I saw a video. She's the daughter of one of these people, and she was being questioned, and she gave all of the answer, like that they were torturing people and babies.
Okay, where's the evidence?
They take them down. they don't want it online. They don't leave it.
Okay, but then it's not in the Epstein files then. Where it's got to be in the files. There's 3.5 million files and not one page that gives me conclusive evidence that any babies were conclusively eaten. Not one page. Not one out of 3.5 million pages.
Oh, the Epstein stuff, maybe not.
Yeah, no, so I'm talking about Epstein.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that kind of stuff I believe does happen.
I mean, I'm sure it does, but I'm getting people in the comments, you're covering up for baby eaters. And I'm like, who are the baby eaters? Name them. Guys, I understand. Like, we want people to get in trouble, but we shouldn't have to make things up. I'm not saying it's not happening. You got to give me evidence that it is happening.
Of the celebrities, and they're like, "Oh, we don't eat them past 10. I eat babies and stuff." But they're joking.
Well, yeah, the whole karmic retribution thing. But again,
it's all of them that say stuff like that.
You gotta give me something conclusive. Not maybe it's this, maybe they're joking, maybe they're that. There's got to be something. Someone's got to. It's like the moon landing was fake, people, right? Which is fine. You want to believe the moon landing was fake? Fine. Not one person blew the whistle on this and wrote a book and cashed in on it. Not one. You got to give me something to go on. I'm not just going to take your word for it. I can't. You've got to there's got to be something conclusive. And this is what's going on right now is this extinction burst. First it was you're covering for pedophiles. Then you're covering for rich elite pedophiles. Now you're covering for cannibal pedophiles. Now Donald Trump eats babies. This is how far we've gotten here. And it just makes it look crazier and crazier. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying people don't eat babies. I'm saying I want conclusive evidence that a baby has been eaten. And if you can't provide it, then don't say it. Is the point. Because extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If you don't have the extraordinary evidence, I'm not going to believe your extraordinary claim. That's just a skeptic in me, right? So it's like, when someone says election fraud, 2020 election was stolen, and then we see Jesse Morgan, the USPS driver out of Bethpage, New York, say that he took ballots across state lines and his trailer was taken out of Harrisburg. He has no idea where it went. And he passed polygraphs and they investigated him and no charges were brought. And I'm like, okay, he made an extraordinary claim and he provided extraordinary evidence. If someone's going to come into my comment section or anywhere and say that babies are being eaten, you better be able to back it up. And I'm not even mean to these people. I go, wow. Babies are being eaten? That's horrible. Can you show me the piece of conclusive evidence that proves that babies are being eaten? And the guy tells me, well, you could just do an AI search of the Epstein files. Okay, so clearly you've done the AI search. Show me the page that says that babies are being eaten. Well, it says pizza over here. Okay, that might mean baby or it might mean pizza. Show me the conclusive evidence that pizza means baby. Like I try to be as evidence-based as possible. And if the evidence isn't there, you shouting the extraordinary claim over and over and over again, right? It just makes me think you're a loon. That's it. There has to be evidence. Conclusive evidence. That's my point on that. Now, I wanted to get into this real fast, so we're going to get into this story real fast. The illegal immigrant, there was an illegal immigrant charged with voting in 5 presidential elections in Pennsylvania. Okay? We're going to get to that in a second. But before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at Silent, slnt.com, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, silent.com. Let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, your phone is a tracking device between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals. They're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they don't ask. They just go on and take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology trusted by special operations teams worldwide. Used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now, that technology is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and secure your digital footprint. All you got to do is drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve, and it is off the grid, completely silent and invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks, to their sleeves, to their crossbodies. Silence patented technology gives you control of your privacy. Just visit slnt.com/Sean to save 15% and get free shipping on qualifying orders. That is slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Silent.com, slnt.com. Silence the chaos and go silent today. slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com/SHAWN. All right, here's this. Someone said witness testimony, will that work for you? Yeah, I guess witnesses have never lied before. That's part of it. But I mean, E. Jean Carroll said that, she was a witness to her own quote unquote rape in a department store. Do you believe her? Witness testimony, you need more than that. I need more than that. Maybe you don't. I do. I'm not asking for the video of a baby being eaten. I don't want to watch that. My point is, just because someone said they saw something does not mean they actually saw something. That's the point. All right? And that's it. That's where I'm at. It takes a lot to sell me on an extraordinary claim. If you want to believe it, that's fine. You can believe it. This is my point around this whole conversation out is I may not talk about a lot of things that other creators and whatnot talk about because I don't have all the information or enough evidence to feel comfortable talking about it. Some people do. It's good for clicks. I'm not in that market. All right. Illegal alien charged with voting in 5 presidential elections in Pennsylvania. A 50-year-old Mahdi Sakho, a Mauritanian national who has been residing in Philadelphia, was illegally voting as a registered Democrat. An illegal immigrant has been charged with voting in multiple presidential elections in Pennsylvania after falsely claiming to be a U.S. citizen. I was told that this wasn't happening. Now it's like, well, it is happening, but, it's just one. That's not going to influence anything. Okay, if one person has done this in the last 5, or not in the last 5, but in 5 presidential elections, that means other people can do it too. Okay? It's not just that one person slipped through the cracks. 50-year-old Mahdi Sakho, a Mauritanian national, has been residing in Philadelphia, has been charged with fraudulent voting stemming from 5 presidential elections. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, Sakho allegedly unlawfully voted in person in the 2024 general election for federal office and falsely represented that he was a U.S. citizen in order to vote and register to vote. Authorities say Sakho entered the U.S. through Miami in 1998. In 2000, he was ordered to be deported from the United States. Despite the deportation order, Pennsylvania state voting records show he voted in several elections, including the 2008 general election, 2012 general election, 2016 primary, 2016 general election, 2020 primary, and 2020 general election. Sakho is a registered Democrat, according to a report by the Philadelphia Inquirer. Sakho voted in person for each of these elections except for the 2020 primary election in which he voted by mail. On each occasion, Sakho falsely represented that he was a U.S. citizen. The FBI special agent investigating the case wrote in a criminal complaint. Sakho was arrested by ICE in January of 2008. However, he did not have a current passport from Mauritania, and ICE was unable to obtain one for him, according to the complaint. Because of this, officials could not enforce the immigration judge's removal order, and Sakho was placed under supervision that required regular reporting to ICE offices. He repeatedly checked in with ICE over a dozen times. He faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison if convicted. It seems to be a pretty easy conviction, proving that this person voted in these elections. And again, that just shows you that illegals can and will vote in elections, period. Okay? That is why the SAVE Act is so important. That is why the SAVE Act is essential. It needs to be passed. Needs to be passed. Did we hit Mo?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. There it is. Good Mo Monday morning. The SAVE Act needs to be passed in order to prevent that from happening on a widespread level. Also on the election fraud. Remember, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Pam Bondi named a special prosecutor basically an election fraud czar sort of figure who has subpoena power in all of the state attorney districts across the United States. I think there's 92 of them. According to Just the News, I believe it was Trump posted on Truth Social, Maricopa County has had their election record seized by the FBI as a part of this nationwide election fraud probe. That's another positive development. Hopefully we get some answers on not even just 2020, but everything, right? We know the Democrats cheat in elections. We know the way to beat them right now is too big to rig. We also know that too big to rig is a proven way to win 2024. The SAVE Act, purging voters from these voter rolls, as Chuck Schumer seems to be terrified about, is another way to help clean up our elections. It's never going to be perfect. There will always be fraud. Elections are systems, and it's a system run by human beings. Human beings are inherently imperfect. Therefore, there will always be imperfections in every system that has some sort of human element. It's never going to be perfect. So too big to rig is always has to be the mindset. But that does not give us an excuse to say, well, if it's going to be imperfect, we might as well allow all the imperfections. No, clean up what we can. Clean up what we can. The SAVE Act goes a long way to help clean up what we can. And so we need to continue to stay on the phone, contacting our senators. We need to continue to stay engaged in this process. I know we're fatigued. I'm tired too. You didn't see the week we had last week and the week before. I get it. But the Democrats don't sleep. Yes, I know they're paid to be awake. I get that. We got to do it out of, love of country, not love of finances. Okay? Get on the phone. Talk to your senators. Donald Trump says he's not signing anything until the SAVE Act is passed. Good, unless it's the DHS funding bill. Hopefully he will sign that before SAVE. I'm sure he will, because he's not going to leave DHS unfunded if that's the case. Please keep calling your senators. And remember what I said the first time? It's not about them supporting the SAVE Act. It's about what? The filibuster. They have to support using the talking filibuster to get the SAVE Act passed. Doesn't matter how many co-sponsors there are. You need 60 votes. Unless the Democrats filibuster, they exhaust their own filibuster, then you only need 51 votes. 50 plus 1. 50 plus Vance. All right. Jeremy Harrell coming up next here on rumble.com/LFA TV, rumble.com/LFA TV. Hit the thumbs up button before you go. As President Trump says, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never ever surrender. And if all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, rumble.com/LFA TV. Remember to subscribe to us anywhere you get your podcast. Search Ungoverned. Hit subscribe. It is completely free. Jeremy Harrell up next. As we said, rumble.com/LFA TV. Hit the follow button, hit the like button, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Enjoy Jeremy's show for the next couple hours. Thank you for your attention to this matter.